U.S. Ambassador to the European Union, Gordon Sondland. Welcome, Mr. Ambassador. I cannot imagine President Trump is very happy right now. He tried to broker peace in a war that started on somebody else's watch, and Russia rewards his efforts with more attacks on Ukraine.
Good evening, Trey. You're absolutely right. The reason it's so important for Americans to understand when President Trump said the war would have never started were it on his watch is that he's in a very, very difficult position right now. Everyone is constantly calling on the United States, go beat those guys up for us, while we sit back in our armchairs and watch. What people don't understand is, given where the conflict is today, it's not as simple as stopping an invasion, which would have been an entirely different mission for our forces and for NATO forces. Now we have to get into the middle of a conflagration, which could easily spiral out of control into a nuclear conflict. And that's what President Trump is trying to be so careful. He's using carrot, stick, and is trying to wedge this thing back into place again. And it is not an easy task.
All right, Ambassador, let's talk about the sticks. I used to be a prosecutor. I like the sticks. When do sanctions come into play? I mean, dramatic sanctions that make it really painful for Putin to continue this invasion, which is what it is. It's an invasion. Trump inherited it. When do sanctions need to be ratcheted up?
Well, here's the problem with sanctions. They're somewhat effective, but they also don't just cause pain for Putin. They cause pain for our allies and our trading partners on whom we have to impose those sanctions. So it's not a pain-free exercise for people that we're trying to do business with and we've just concluded trade deals with. I actually felt badly for the president that he had to sanction India because he's making so much progress there. But yet, these countries can't just stop doing business with Russia as much as we'd like them to do so. It's a very, very difficult thing for them to do based on how their economies are entwined. So, Trey, it's a combination of sanctions. It's taking some of the gloves off in terms of allowing Zelensky to use the ATACMS and some of the longer range weapons and fire well into Russia. And those are the sticks right now. And he has to be, the president has to be extremely careful because now the mission is different than simply hearing Putin talk about potentially invading and drawing a hard line and putting troops into place to stop a potential invasion. It's a whole different game now.
Yeah, you know, Ambassador, I think most of us are going back in our minds to that Biden press conference, infrequent as they were, where he said he might be okay with a small incursion or invasion, and just how poorly that comment is aging. You mentioned our allies. Does Europe have the weaponry to help Ukraine, or do those weapons need to be purchased from us? Not our very best stuff, but maybe our second best stuff, and then transferred to Ukraine. How does that work if we wanted to help them militarily?
Well, first of all, your comment about President Biden's remarks concerning an incursion or a minor incursion, what President Biden didn't seem to grasp was that Putin's default setting, his factory default setting, wherever he was created, was I'm going to invade Ukraine. The only question is, when can I get away with it? And what President Biden did with that disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, added on to the comment about a minor incursion, was a strong signal to Putin that now, yes, I can get away with it. So he wasn't doing anything that he wasn't already pre-programmed to do, which was to invade Ukraine. As far as the weapons are concerned, we create most of those weapons, we and our allies. They will come through us, but the Pentagon right now is very, very concerned about depleting our own stocks, particularly with weapons that take a long time to manufacture. And the ATACMS, which are the ones that the Ukrainians really could use to reach a couple hundred miles into Russia, those are not readily available in great supply. And so consequently, the folks at the Pentagon are doing a balancing act. This is a tough, tough situation. And I wish people would get behind the president instead of criticizing every single move he makes, whether he puts pressure on, whether he takes pressure off. He just can't win, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, I will not divulge private conversations with the president, but I will tell you this, Ambassador, he is very, very serious and honest when he says he wants the killing to stop. It has a dramatic impact on him to see all of the killing, and it is so unnecessary. It never should have begun. Ambassador Gordon Sondland, thank you for your service to our country and for joining us on a Sunday night.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.